Hi, Facebook family.
Hi.
It's LaVista and Lauren.
Yes.
I'm super excited that you are with me today because this is a super important topic for us to talk about.
It is.
So before we get started, let's just make sure everybody knows who the heck we are. So I'm LaVista. This is my page, and I am the owner of 31 Marketplace. I work with small business owners with their operational needs, so helping them streamline what they're doing and saving time in their business with their processes, putting procedures in place, and helping them outsource things if they need that as well. But like I said, with me is Lauren Morgan, Esquire, because that's important.
A little bit. So you know I'm credible. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, there are letters behind her name for a reason. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Lauren.
So my name is Lauren Morgan. I am founder of Activated Law, Esquire, and I specialize in boutique business professional law. So basically what that means, if you have a business, you are an entrepreneur, you have dreams of becoming a business owner, you need to be talking to someone like me. Not necessarily me. I am good though, so you can talk to me. You should talk to me. But I help people with their businesses every step of the way, getting started, contracts, trademarking, wills and trusts. You get business, you get successful in your business, you have assets, you need to protect those assets. So I can help people out with their business legally.
Nice. So that's a little bit about Activated Law.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little something about you. Who is Lauren?
Who is Lauren?
Yes.
So a little bit about me. I have been in Arizona for 7 years in January.
Almost as long as me. I've been
Really?
here almost 8 years this September.
Really? And
Yeah.
I didn't even know you. I haven't known you for 7 years.
I know.
Oh, see?
That's weird.
I know. That's not fair. I want a couple of years back from knowing her because she's amazing. So I want more time. I'm originally from Chicago, and so I love being out here, not getting away from the cold, things like that.
But don't you miss the shy? I love the shy.
Summertime shy.
Yeah, okay.
Summertime shy.
I give you that.
Not winter shy. Winter shy. Unless it's Christmas. One day and then we're back home.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I never talk about myself. That's weird, huh? I really like what I do. I'm passionate about businesses, and I'm kind of wired for them. Growing up, my auntie had a business. My dad owned his business, so I was really around it. I started my first business, if you will, in college. I started a modeling organization on campus that is still going today. I know we celebrated 10 years in April of this past year, and they had a really big event and things like that. We had the chancellor and all of those people from campus involved on it. Because Knoxville, Tennessee, UT is the city, so it revolves around UT.
Nice. Nice. Awesome. So, Level Up. You're one of the speakers at this year's Level Up event. So talk to us briefly about why you are excited about being part of this year's event and what made you say yes to the opportunity.
Well, if you are a business owner and you're starting out and you know what it's like to be figuring that out, you know that this is an event that you need to be at. To have all of these resources in one event is a really big deal. And that's why I was excited about it. I'm passionate about business owners and helping educate them. Not just about, I can solve your legal needs, absolutely, but it doesn't really help you because you have to go back to the business and actually implement this if you don't know how to implement it and what you're doing, getting a working understanding of the contract that I just gave you, giving you a working understanding of your legal business structure and why that's important, how that's going to help you with your taxes, how you're going to save on things like that. If I'm just doing it for you and giving you back, you really are going to be in the same place in a year or so, or 2 years from now. So I'm passionate about that. And this event is going to do that for business owners. It's going to educate them, not just on legal principles, but other important elements for their business as well. So that's why when I got asked to speak here, I was like, oh my God, yes, of course, I would love to speak there.
And we're so excited that you said yes. Yes. So as a business law attorney, why is it important for small businesses to consult or to hire a business attorney like yourself?
I think it's important, especially in this day and age. Everybody has a business. Everybody is entrepreneur minded, and I think that is excellent. It's great. But what a lot of people don't know is that it comes with a lot of risks, and not being set up the proper way, why are you becoming an entrepreneur? So you can maybe get financially stable, so you maybe can get away from your job. Maybe it's always been a dream of yours. Well, building out that dream, whatever your business may be, took a lot of work. It took a lot of time, a lot of creativity, a lot of risk. Yes. And those are invaluable resources that you can't get back. And so you want to protect that. Going out and starting a business and not having the right systems in place makes you vulnerable. And it makes all the sacrifices and the resources that you've invested into that business, potentially you can lose all of that. And you try to get in a good position to be better, and now you're worse off than you even started in the beginning. And we want to prevent that. And so that's why it's important to make sure you are getting some legal counsel. A lot of attorneys offer free consultation. Take advantage of that. At least try to get as much resources as you can. I know starting off as businesses, it can be hard to invest in yourself, but it is important and necessary, because if you aren't investing in yourself, why should someone else invest in you?
So, okay, let's talk about that, I guess, for a bit. You know, I'm a startup, like I'm just getting into my groove, right? And I don't have any money. I don't have any clients yet or customers. And like, all right, like I've got this agreement or this contract I'm thinking I'm going to use. Like, I mean, why is it a big deal for me not to use something that like I just find on Google or like a template that I mean, it's out there. I can tweak it. I can personalize it to, you know, fit like my business needs. Like, why isn't that okay?
Well, a phrase I love is that you don't know what you don't know, right? So you go and you get on Google, and I love Google, by the way. Google is everything. It's a great starting point for a lot of things. But who has gone on Google and said, oh, well, what does this bump on my arm mean? And then you think you have cancer and you're dying because you went on Google and Google told you whatever. But if you were a doctor and you went on Google and you looked at that, you would have known that that's actually a sign of X or Z or all these other things that you didn't know even existed, to know that that's what you actually qualified to have. Same exact thing with law. You get a contract from Google and you're like, oh, great. This is, you know, all the major things. I'm getting paid. Right, that's important as a business owner. I'm getting some money. I want to know that I'm gonna get paid. And the contract has something about getting paid. Oh, it says something about maybe, you know, if something comes up, we're gonna go to court for it. Okay, that's good. I'm protected if I go to court. Well, we just talked about you being a small business and not having a lot of money. Do you know how much legal litigation costs? It's expensive. It's very expensive. And so some of the things for a contract that Google might give you or things like that, free templates, it's not going to include everything and all the information that you are going to need and necessary for you to have to actually protect your business. It might be a great starting point, but I always say, even in my business, I was using the term level up, but every time your business levels up, you need to have a system in place where you can assess the risk for your business and make sure you have those proper protections in place for the business.
Awesome. Yeah. And I don't know if you saw my live the other day, but I was sharing a story about one of my corporate trainers back in my corporate life, which seems like forever ago. It really does seem like a totally different lifetime. But I was sharing that, you know, her and her husband and a friend of theirs had started a business together. And it was one of those kind of like gentleman agreements, like, you're my friend, we're going to do this together, everything's going to be okay. And it was okay until it wasn't okay. And they were the ones left, you know, with all of the mess and like the hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt and all this stuff because their business partner did something shady.
Yeah.
So working with, like, you know, collaborating with friends or different colleagues, is it important to have agreements or contracts even in that kind of relationship, even if they're not a client?
Absolutely. I think it's more important. Honestly, I know previously I've had agreement with family members and things like that, and I love my family. I've had agreements with my family. Like, I'm a stickler and I follow the rules and things like that.
Are you like a Sheldon?
And I wouldn't say I'm that.
Like, here is your relationship agreement.
I think the right word for me is that I draw clear boundaries in my relationships, in every type of relationships, and it's important. It's necessary, and so especially when you have a friendship or a family or even a close acquaintance, business acquaintance. You know, my friend, we work together. We decided to start a business together. We're doing great and things like that. You need to have those details written out clearly in legalese that if something comes up, you can take it to court and the judge is going to enforce that and hold the responsible parties responsible for the damage that they've done and doesn't leave that on you. And why that's so important and why that's, I think, a big deal for people to get is because in a normal day-to-day conversations, how many times have you texted someone or you emailed them and your language later down the line, and thankfully it's not a contract or a major business deal, but something comes up and it's like, oh, that's what you meant? Girl, that is not what I got from that text message at all. And so that happens in real life, and that's why it's so important. In legalese, it's called an ambiguity in the law. And if there's any ambiguity, there's not a meeting of the minds, that contract might not exist. And so even if you have a verbal agreement, if you have something, a contract you got from Google, if the judge can find an ambiguity or something where there wasn't a meeting of the mind, something that should have been made clear, there's some terms that are necessary for contracts. And if it's not there, it's not a contract, depending on what type of contract it is. And that's why it's important to make sure those things are there, because if they're not, no contract even existed. So whatever you invested, you're now out of that money, plus maybe even some more for damages that you never even went in anticipating.
Wow.
So forewarned is always the best way to be, and a contract definitely puts you in that position to be forewarned.
Got it. So would you advise that it would be leery of maybe working with like a vendor or something like that that doesn't want to do a contract, or like trying to do like a collaboration with a friend? They're like, come on, man, we're homies. We don't need this. Like, how would you advise on that?
If you were my client, I would advise against that. Everybody has their own good judgment, though, so we definitely want to make sure that you are using some discernment if that's the situation you're in. If you decide to do that, I would say try to minimize your risk. I would not advise going forward with it, but if you are, maybe you don't put as much money up front. Maybe you may have them put in more money up front, or have them front everything. Do something that
Tiffany said, don't do it.
I say don't do it, but once again, that is my opinion and my legal counsel if you were my client. But you have free will and you can do whatever, but I would not advise it at all. I would not. It doesn't matter how good the deal looks up front. Mm-hmm. Everything that glitters isn't gold. So you just,
yes.
Final answer, no.
Yes.
Don't do it.
All right. Don't do it. So is there any stories or anything like you want to share before we go to our next question?
Actually, you had asked the question a couple questions ago, and not just one, a few examples came to mind about contracting with friends and not having it written, getting a contract from Google. I have had so many conversations with potential clients and clients that they've ended up hiring me after we've had our consultation and talked about how I can help them, where they've gotten a contract off of Google or they've created a contract by themselves, and the person hasn't performed on the contract, and some issues have come out of that. And so from that, I just know even the day-to-day transactions, like, oh, they're going to give me, some services in exchange for my services or things like that. Get it in writing, guys. Get a contract for it, just so you can have something that is enforceable. So you aren't in a situation where you just gave them almost thousands of dollars worth of services or products, and now they understood, once again, that ambiguity, that you were going to pay them at this time frame and you didn't. And now they want to see you and they're going to take you to court. And even the writing that you have, it might not show as a contract in court, but it might show it's like what is also called they're going to remedy the situation if someone is unfairly enriched in legal terminology. So if I gave you $1,500 in legal services, which this is very hypothetical, this would not come up or really happen, but because you have to, it's legal services don't work that way. That's why it wouldn't happen. Not that I wouldn't give my friend here great legal services, but I gave you $1,500 in legal services, right? On a promise that you were going to give me $1,500 in your services in return. We had an agreement. We got it off Google, right? And I have it and I give you my $1,500 in services. And Livis is like, girl, I got a lot going on right now. I'm sorry, I cannot return these services right now. I don't know when I'm going to get back to you. And I'm like, no, I really need you right now. My business needs this. And she doesn't perform. Well, I go to court, and the court judge is like, hey, that's not a contract. One, you, as an attorney, you're going to get some sanctions because you shouldn't have been doing it in the first place. But it's not a contract, right? But the judge might also look at it and say, but we can't just say you don't get anything, because that's not fair. That leaves you missing something. You're not whole in that process. So what happens? The judge says, okay, it's not a contract, but we're gonna hold this as proof that you actually did give her something. So it's not a contract, but we're gonna remedy this situation anyway, because it would be unfair not to remedy the situation. Those are the justice courts that will do things like that and not give you monetary rewards instead, but they'll do something to remedy it, because without them remedying it, you would be left unwhole, and we don't want a society where things like that can happen, right? So the judge is going to step in and make some decisions to do that. But better safe than sorry is just to get a proper contract in the first place, because once again, legal litigation is costly. And so even doing that, I assure you that process has now put me back more than the $1,500 that she owes me in general. I'm back thousands now, tens of thousands. So just be wise up front and get contracts for that. So that would be my scenario and advice from an example.
Got it. All right. So Level Up is coming up in August the 4th. It's on a Saturday. It is in Mesa, Arizona. If you want more information about Level Up itself, go to thelevelupevent.com. Again, we have shared that Lauren is one of our featured speakers at the Level Up event for this year.
I'm so excited.
So for those that are attending, what is the biggest takeaway that you want each of the attendees to walk away with at Level Up?
Honestly, if they're not already in business, so two scenarios. If you are in business, you should walk away with a very solid foundation of how to start your business off the right way. If you are already in business, you should walk away with how to better your business, how to put some systems in place, how to better take advantage of marketing to your clientele, doing contracts with your clientele, things of that nature. So no matter what type of business owner that you are, you should walk away with a knowledge to have a better business. Really, nuts and bolts of it. Have a better business.
Awesome. And so I know that as celebration, if you will, of us being together, and she came to be here with me in my office. Like, how awesome is that? I feel so special that we just didn't do just like live and like.
I know, merging together. No, only the best for you people. Only the best.
So I feel super, super special. But I know that you wanted to give the people something today.
I do. So we want to thank you for coming today and sharing some time with us. And if you haven't already signed up for the event, we encourage you to sign up for the event. And as a special thank you, for coming today, if you sign up for the event, not only will you get $10 off, but you will get a contract checklist to have for those Google contracts. If you're starting off, I get it. I understand. Nice. And I want to help you still, because you need something to get started. So we will give you a contract checklist. That's going to help you look at those Google contracts and say, oh, does it have this? Does it have this? Does it have this? Even if you're just starting off in your business, to make sure that you are protected.
Wow. That's huge.
It is.
That's huge. Now, is everybody going to get that registers today?
Everybody, you have 24 hours that we're going to give you a code, and it's going to last until midnight of tomorrow. So if you're watching it and you have friends and you know that, hey, they got some business contracts and they need to share this video so they can get it on the bandwagon as well. Yes. We'll have the replay will be there for you as well. So if you didn't catch us live, it's okay. We understand working schedules, but hopefully you can take advantage of this offer, because $10 off the ticket and a contract checklist to make sure that your checklist or your contracts that you're getting are equipped with everything you need. So
nice. So they can actually walk into Level Up and be ahead of the game.
Ahead of the game. Listen, at that point, you should be bringing in your contract and be like, I checked off everything she said. What else is she going to give us today so I can make sure that my contract has everything in it that I need? That's what I would be doing.
That sounds like a Level Up move.
It is. Come on, y'all.
Yes.
Level up today. You don't even got to wait till the event. Level up today. Today.
Do it today. All right. So again, the event website is thelevelupevent.com. The code that you can use to register today is legal. Really simple. We're keeping it super, super simple. So if you use that code and register by tomorrow at midnight, you'll not only get $10 off of your registration, but you'll also get the very generous gift from Lauren to help you with the checklist for your contracts, which I think is amazing. So thank you for that.
Yes, of course.
So nice. So we'll make sure that we put the code in the comments for those that aren't here with us live, so that they can take advantage of that awesome deal. Is there anything you want to share with the people before we go?
No, I just really hope that you can make it out to that event. It's going to be awesome. You're going to, if you have a business, if you inspire to have a business, take advantage, invest in yourself, and you're going to walk away with so many resources to get you on the right foot for your business. It's going to be unbelievable. The lineup is dynamic.
Yes.
I think everybody on the lineup, that business, they have helped me and inspired me in my business years ago when I was getting prepared to start my business. Every single one of them. So I'm so excited.
That's awesome.
Every single speaker, yes.
Because we have legal.
That's me.
We have your audience engagement and like your content management. We have sales, which is huge.
That is true.
Like, you got to make sales.
Nobody wants the sales. I'm not a salesperson, but I have to
But
sell.
you are a salesperson.
But I have to sell. Yeah, it's a part of my job. By nature, I'm not a salesperson, but it's important, guys. It's important.
Yeah, I think that's a disconnect sometimes. Like, oh, I'm not a salesy person. If you want to make money, you are. But our guest speaker that is doing the sales, Dr. Nadia Brown, she is amazing.
Phenomenal.
And she is going to make it super easy for you to get out there and do your sales calls and bring that money in. And then we'll also have ops, me. And then we also have the wonderful Aisha Cogborn, who will be touching on using media, but then she's also going to be facilitating the panel of all of the speakers. So during the event, we're going to be answering your questions. So come to the event ready to actually tap into the knowledge that's there in the room. Ask us whatever you want to ask us. Ask us about the startup stuff. Ask us about the nitty-gritty stuff. Ask us about the ugly stuff. We'll tell you. We'll be upfront, honest, and transparent because each of us has the heart and the desire for business owners to succeed and have sustainable businesses.
Absolutely.
So it definitely is going to be worth you being in the room. It is limited to only 20 women. So if you're interested, go ahead and get your ticket now. Again, the site is thelevelupevent.com. The code to use today through tomorrow at midnight is legal. $10 off your registration and the contract checklist from Lauren. And it looks like we have somebody, Kayla, saying she'll be there. We hope that you will be there. We hope to see you in the house in Mesa on August 4th. So with that, I think that we're going to say goodbye. All right.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining.
Yes, thank you. Bye.